Way back in 1978, Superman the movie was released, and the tagline for that movie was "You'll believe a man can fly." And Richard Donner, the director of the movie, successfully pulled it off. People did believe a man could fly when they saw this movie. And just like Donner succeeded in making you believe a man could fly, Neca also succeeded in putting every single bit of likeness of Christopher Reeve into this figure. Now, at the time when this figure came out, it was more or less impossible to get a Christopher Reeve Superman action figure in this scale. You could spend a bit more money and get the Hot Toys figure, but for the 7-inch scale, this was more or less the only one. Nowadays, you can pick yourself up a Mezco Superman figure based on Christopher Reeve's, which does rival this, is a good contender, but it doesn't outshine it in any way. They are both still very good figures, and this is still one of the best ones you can get hold of. Unfortunately now it is a little bit harder to get hold of it as it was when it was first released, and you will pay a little bit more. Just like Michael Keaton is my favourite Batman, Christopher Reeve is my favourite Superman. He always has been and he always will be. So you can imagine my delight when I discovered that they were releasing a figure of this standard of Christopher Reeve. I was absolutely over the moon, and when Christopher Reeve first put on this cape for the first time, he will forever place himself in the pages of pop culture and become the face of Superman for many a generation. And here we have a closer look at him, and as you can see, he's absolutely perfect. He looks just like Christopher Reeves. He looks like he's been pulled out of the film. I say that all the time, but it's true. He looks like he's just been pulled directly out of the film. Neca included a cloth cape, which drapes really nice. No wire or anything like that, just a simple cloth cape which drapes really nicely. I wish they'd have made his boots a little bit more glossy, because in the movie his boots are a more glossy red, but it really doesn't hinder my enjoyment of this figure at all. So the actual body of the figure is moulded plastic on the arms and on the legs, but on the torso it's quite strange really. It's like a rubbery sleeve. I'm not entirely sure why they've done that, whether it was for posability or not. I'm not 100% sure. There's not a great deal of posability on this. It has got a little bit of a joint at the waist where you can bend him slightly, but there's not much posability on it. So why they've done that, I'm not entirely sure, but it does give him a realistic look almost, that there isn't a joint in the middle, that it is just one whole piece. It gives him more of that realistic human look. Like I said before, the boots are really nice and well detailed. You got all the folds of the material. I just wish that they were a slightly more glossy red. I think that would have really made the figure pop, but it doesn't ruin the figure at all. Even the belt could have been a glossy yellow. I think that would have really brought out the figure a little bit more. But like I said, it doesn't ruin it. This figure is absolutely perfect. So I've just brought the figure a little bit closer so you can see the detail in the face. And as you can see, that is undoubtedly Christopher Reeve. It is absolutely beautiful and perfect. Look a little bit closer, you can see that the curl isn't actually moulded to his face. It's actually loose, which I really like. It gives it that more realistic look to the figure as well. As we bring the figure closer, you can see the face sculpt on that is absolutely perfect. There is no mistaking who that is, which version of Superman that is. There is no mistaking that is Christopher Reeve. The sculpt is unbelievable in my opinion. The sculpt of the hair is brilliant. This little piece here at the front seems to be separate from the rest, and I think it's because they give it this realistic bouncing curl at the front, which I really do appreciate. Another thing I love about owning this figure is that I also own the Michael Keaton Batman from Neca as well. And finally, side by side, we can finally get the team up we always wanted but never got. And here he is next to the ultimate Christopher Reeve Superman figure, the Hot Toys version, and I can honestly say, for the price point and the size difference, that the Neca Superman is a true contender for this Hot Toys figure in every way. The detail is immaculate on this figure. Obviously it isn't as good as the Hot Toys, but for the price and the size, it is a definite contender. Like I said before, the only other rival is the Mezco 1978 Superman figure. This Neca Superman figure is probably one of my favourites in my collection. It's the closest likeness you're going to get to Christopher Reeve, apart from maybe the Mezco in this scale, and I just love it. And when you put it up against a Hot Toys version, like I said before, and you think about the amount of work that they put into these Hot Toys and the price point of them, and then you look at the Neca and you look at the detail in the face, in the features of both, and they are very, very close. So I can honestly say that this is a contender for the Hot Toys. It really is For its scale and for its price, it's absolutely brilliant. So if you liked today's video, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any more, and a like and a comment will go a long way to really help the channel. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you very soon.